Welcome back to Crisco's Corner, unfiltered commentary, not your truth, the real truth. And as always, thank you for your support. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. From Fox, Dems nuclear option push fails. Election bill's dead after Sinema and Manchin vote to keep the filibuster. Yeah, gave it the long applause on that one. First of all, let's tell us the truth here. This so-called election reform bill is nothing more than changing the rules so one side has a really, really huge advantage over the other. Let's just tell the truth before we all drown in the BS. Shall we? I ran in several elections in upstate New York. I used to be a local elected official. And I was familiar with a lot of the rules in New York concerning elections, registration. I have never heard of anyone that qualifies to vote in the area that I live in, Broome County in upstate New York, anyone that had the legal right to vote that was denied. I've never heard of one. Now, I've been around after a close friend of mine, rest his soul, was defeated. He was the city council president incumbent, and I went around the list of all the new so-called quote-unquote new registered a month after the election with the list, went around, and out of the top 20, 14 of them, the person's name wasn't on the mailbox. That's what this is all about, okay? This is not about Trump in 2020. This is about anything else. This is about the Democrats panicking because they're going to get their asses handed to them this November. Make no mistake. In fact, they were criticizing Georgia's new laws. Chuck Schumer was running his mouth about how people are being disenfranchised and it's against people of color and poor and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's a senator from New York State whose regulations are stricter than Georgia's. So you know what? When you're that much of a hypocrite, you know you're lying. Let's read on. Oh, by the way, hats off to Manchin and Sinema, who I was never a real fan of either of them. But, you know, things have a funny way of working out. Let's hope this sticks. Democrats' attempt to use a nuclear option to get to around the filibuster for two major election bills failed Wednesday after the gambit from Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was stymied by Manchin and Sinema. There's no gambit. He knew exactly what they were going to vote. He knew exactly. So they're going to primary the both of them. Sinema might have a harder time than Joe Manchin. I got to tip my hat to Sinema because this is the one that's going to cost her the most. Joe Manchin, by the way, from what I've read, his poll numbers have doubled in the positive direction since he started going against getting rid of the filibuster and going to the nuclear option. Now, those of you that are criticized and say, hey, Republicans did it a lot for Supreme Court justices. No. So the Democrats, you're right. They used the nuclear option because they couldn't get 60 and push judges through. But never in my knowledge, ever has it been waived to push legislation through. I think Obamacare was the one they might have done it. I'm not sure. But no, only for appointments to usually either cabinet posts and or federal judges. Sinema and Manchin joined all Senate Republicans in opposing the attempt to alter the Senate filibuster on party lines, resulting in 48 yeas, 52 nays final tally. The vote followed a failed attempt by Democrats to advance the election bills over the Senate's 60-vote filibuster threshold. All Republicans opposed it. If there's ever been a time where Republicans have to learn the lesson of the Democrats and stick together through thick and thin, it's now. The next 10, 11 months, it's gonna be huge how this country goes. A few hours ago, this chamber, with the eyes of the nation upon it and with the evidence of voter suppression laid bare before it, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's absolute nonsense. What they want is they want to be able to collect ballots and turn them in, giving a huge advantage to Democrats in the major cities. Let's tell the truth here. That's where their strongholds are in major cities. You can put 4 or 5 people into a apartment complex with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of registered voters and collect hundreds of ballots in 2, 3, 4 hours. You go to the suburbs or rural areas where the Republicans are stronger, it'll take them 20, 30 times longer to collect the same ballots, and they know that. John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Absolute, total, unadulterated, I'm going to say it right out loud, bullshit. If you think the filibuster is a good thing, this is Schumer talking, is it protecting voting rights and preventing their diminution more important? That's baloney. It's a lie. Total. I mean, it's not even exaggeration. Oh, God. You know, these bills help treat the symptom of the disease, but do not fully address the disease itself. While I continue to support these bills, and not support separate actions that worsen the underlying disease of the vision affecting our country, Sinema said. Now, that's playing both sides of the street. I really don't like it. I think Joe Manchin's a little more honest. He knows these bills. He's one of the very few old school Democrats left I used to be when I was a city councilman. It's unbelievable. This is a paragraph here that says it all, I think. Allowing one party to exert complete control in the Senate with only a simple majority, will only pour fuel on the fire of political whiplash and dysfunction that is tearing this nation apart, Manchin said. Contrary to what some have said, protecting the role of the minority, Democrat or Republican, has protected us from the volatile political swings that we have endured over the last 233 years. And that is precisely when the Electoral College and the Constitution was put together that James Madison said, be careful of the tyranny of the majority. The tyranny of the majority got us Jim Crow. The tyranny of the majority made different races being married illegal in states. And it wasn't that long ago either. Right up through the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of municipalities and states that was actually against the law. All the horrible things that the Democrats complain about were because of majority rule. So 50.5% can just steamroll over the other 49.5%. No, sorry. The founders rejected the parliamentary procedure, the parliamentary setup for that reason. When under the parliamentary system, in this case, U.S. Congress, right now is majority Democrat, and the president would be Democrat automatically, i.e., in their case, the prime minister. That's a terrible system. It leads to all kinds of swings and left and right and extremely unstable. And the founders knew that. And as time goes on, the Constitution was made idiot-proof. As time goes on, they're pushing this idiot-proof right to the edge. I think the Constitution will make it through. But in my lifetime, and I was born in 1956, this is its biggest test. I'm hoping that it'll be the biggest ever. The future of our republic is hanging by its fingernails on a cliff. Pray that it holds. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.